Welcome to Unicorns Talk Podcast, your weekly girl talk about Black women, our healing, and manifestation. My name is Latrice Sampson Richards, your life enhancement coach, and together we're going to live, laugh, and learn to love all of life's little messes. While I am a licensed clinician, please keep in mind that this show is not a substitute for your own relationship with a mental health provider. Let's go. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 46 of Unicorns Talk Podcast. My name is Latrice Sampson Richards, and this week I am recording in my hometown, New Orleans, Louisiana. Who dat and all of that. I came down for a visit, and if y'all recall from last week, I've been here since Wednesday. I'm going to be here for a few more days, which I kind of have mixed feelings about. I'm not even going to lie. As y'all know, my husband and I live in South Florida. And to be honest, I really like it there. I'm still getting familiar with the area and everything like that. But based on what I've experienced so far, it's a really nice place, and I enjoy being there. But at the end of the day, there's no place like home. I'm so glad that I got a chance to come home and visit my friends and family. I got a chance to see my little cousins, some of my really, really close friends. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see everybody that I would have wanted to. But, there's just not enough time in the day. I was able to make some business connections, though. I sat down with Nicole Deggans of Sister Midwife Productions, and I had a really good talk with her about the Black birthing crisis that's going on right now. And we talked about how women, Black women and women of color can really start to take back control of their birthing experience. So I'm really excited about that interview. I can't wait for y'all to hear it when it airs. So make sure y'all be on the lookout for that. I also served as a panelist for the Urban League of Greater New Orleans Young Professional Monthly Membership Mixer last week. It was amazing, of course. We talked about the importance of advocating for yourself in healthcare. I represented the mental health perspective, and the audience asked some really great questions. We talked about how to manage grief, finding balance in relationships, when to start and stop taking medications to manage your mental health, and how to choose the right therapist. Two of the attendees came up to me after the meeting. Well, I mean, several people came up and talked to me afterwards, but two ladies in particular came and they talked to me about all kinds of stuff. I told them about the show and they said they was going to start listening. So, hey, y'all. And then I ended up seeing them at the Fried Chicken Festival a couple days later. So that was really cool. The festival was decent or whatever. But overall, I've been having a really good visit. I wish I could have seen more people while I was here, but I am grateful for the experiences that I did have. I'm really looking forward to getting home to my husband in a couple days, though. And plus, there's nothing like sleeping in your own bed and just like being in your own space. I mean, I love my parents or whatever, but when you're used to being in your own space, it's really hard to go back to being in your parents' house, like even if it is just for 1 week. So I'm super excited, to be home, but I am looking forward to getting back. I'm also super excited about doing my live show in a couple weeks in Atlanta at a Pod Connection ATL podcasting conference. The conference is taking place from October 5th through the 7th, and there is an entire weekend of events planned. So y'all make sure y'all come on out and see me, okay? Friday night is a free meet and greet at Match Bamboo Lounge. The event is going to be hosted by my boo, Jaden Hollywood of Unapologetic Podcast. Jaden's also going to be serving as the conference co-host. So y'all already know I love me some Jaden. And if you ever listen to his show, you absolutely know why. So he's going to be hosting the All Black Party meet and greet on that Friday. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have some t-shirts and stuff like that. I'm so ready to just meet y'all and talk to y'all face to face. So I'm really looking forward to that event. Then on Saturday, they have a full day planned of keynotes, panels, and of course the live shows. And then Sunday is the brunch, okay, which I love a good brunch. So I told y'all a few weeks ago that I would be announcing my show topic in advance, so you can make sure you have yourself in the building. So here it is. The topic for my first ever live recording of Unicorns Talk podcast at A Pod Connection ATL is stuck and bothered, overcoming the 30 something crisis. Y'all, I am so excited about this show. So we've all heard about the midlife crisis that happens around like age 50 or so, where people start basically wilding out as they become more aware that they've already lived more years than they have left, right? And so this is considered like a turning point in most people's lives that actually has the power to change the trajectory of their life. Well, there's something similar to that that happens for most people somewhere between the ages of 25 and like 35 or 40, where things really start to slow down for us and we realize that we have no idea who we are, what we want, or where we're going, right? And so it's typically referred to as the quarter life crisis, but I call it the 30 something crisis because I was approaching my 30s when I was dealing with it. And I find that most people really start to find their way through this journey somewhere in their 30s. It was very important to me to make sure that my topic for this live show was relevant to everybody that's going to be in that crowd. So there's going to be people from all walks of life, and there's going to be so many different backgrounds. But my goal is always to impact as many lives as I can. And since the 30 something crisis is way more common than we realize, I thought it would be a really good fit where just about anybody can get something out of it. So I'm even more excited about this now. And listen, I have already like been working on my discussion. Like it's gonna be so good. I want y'all to come prepared to ask questions and stuff. So make sure you come ready to do that. I'm really, really looking forward to meeting the other podcasters who are going to be performing live as well, and really just kind of seeing them do their thing. The lineup is freaking bananas, and it's going to be amazing. And I can't wait to see you all there. It's not too late to get your tickets. Just go to APOD Connection ATL at splashthat.com and use the coupon code Unicorns Talk to get $5 off. Make sure when you purchase your ticket that you also register for the free meet and greet. You can do that all at one time. And, bring yourself down to the building. If you haven't already, please be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere that you're listening right now. Use the hashtag Unicorns Talk Pod across all of your social media and let me know that you're listening. Give me a little shout out or whatever. Let the people know that you're listening. Feel free to tag me directly at Latrice Sampson Richards, or you can tag the show at Unicorns Talk Pod so I can see it and, say hey or whatever. Okay? All right. So let's move into this topic. All this week in Trust Village, we've been talking about new beginnings. And so today I have an interview for y'all that I did with Jeanine Daniels of 927 Entertainment, and she's formerly affiliated with Black and Sexy TV. So y'all have heard me mention her name multiple times here on the show. Go back to the older episodes. I think I even made her my high five for one of the episodes. I am a huge fan of this woman, and I'm so excited to be able to like actually have her as a guest on the show. Janine went through a not so great split from a company that she helped to build a few years ago. And we talked about how she was impacted by that experience and what the process of starting over has been like for her ever since then. So, y'all go ahead and get into this interview with Jeanine Daniels, and I'm going to see y'all on the other side. Jeanine Daniels is an acclaimed writer, producer, director, and actor who honed her skills at KCET, ABC, Warner Brothers, and Disney Animation after college. In 2008, Jeanine co founded Black and Sexy TV, a digital content studio and distribution network focusing on content starring people of color, which I love. While there, she spearheaded the network's most successful shows and optioned the first series she created, The Couple, to HBO. Various other shows she created and or produced were licensed to BET and Centric, including her first feature film, That Guy, the Movie. A spinoff of her That Guy series, Becoming Nia, is currently being studied at Spelman College. In 2015, Jeanine launched 927 Entertainment, her own full-service production company. Under her 927 banner, Jeanine wrote, directed, and produced a series of 5 Black History Month vignettes for TV One. The Social Movement was a series featuring African American agents of change who use social media as their primary tool for imparting positive change within social movements. Also in late 2015, Jeanine received an Honorable Mention Award from the African American Women in Cinema at the Women of Excellence Awards. Jeanine is currently creating original content and developing a digital platform that will highlight the voices and everyday stories of people of color. She thrives when she's telling authentic stories about environments and people that aren't typically highlighted. Her old fans have followed her across platforms from YouTube to VHX to Periscope and Snapchat, while new ones are joining from the Netherlands, China, and Brazil. Her latest Snap thread, hashtag Midnight Mission, is just one of a handful that has caught the attention of publications like Essence magazines. Everybody, I freaking love this woman. I feel like y'all have heard me talk about her before here on the show. And now I actually get to talk to her like for real, in real life. And so I just want to welcome Jeanine Daniels to the show. Hey, Jeanine.
Hello, how are you?
I am like extra good right now. Like I had to stop myself from completely standing when we first started this conversation because I wanted my listeners to hear like how much I love you, but I feel like they already know because this is not their first time hearing me say your name. I don't know if you've listened to my show before, but I have said your name multiple times on this show. And so this is really like a full circle moment for me. So I am freaking ecstatic right now.
Well, I am very, very, very excited to be here.
Well, thank you so much. So I just want to start off before we like get into anything. I just really want to let you know like how much I fucking love you and how awesome and amazing you are. Um like this is a real moment for me. So I was introduced to you through Black and Sexy. I started watching Black and Sexy on YouTube like before VHX and all of that. I was in a weird place in my life. You know, I talk a lot about my own personal journey here on the show. And Black and Sexy TV was a part of my journey because it was the first time that I really saw, well, it was the first time in a long time that I really saw characters that I could actually identify with. That guy, well, the couple I started watching first, and I didn't even know that you had done the couple, that you had created the couple. It's well until maybe about a year later or so is when I found out that you created the couple. But I freaking love the couple. Like it is such an amazing show. And then I got hooked on That Guy. And I talk about that guy still all the time. My line sister, one of my line sisters, also watches the show, and she's like when y'all was still putting out new episodes, we would text each other like, "Bitch, did you see the couple this week? I mean, did you see that guy this week, girl? Why this, and this?" Like we like really like fans of the show, and so I knew that that guy was yours. I knew that you created that. I knew that from the very beginning. beginning. And so from that moment, I was interested in who you were, how you operated, and I started following you. And, I told you I'm a therapist by trade. I'm a therapist and I am a certified life coach. And so I'm always looking at situations from a different perspective. When I started following you on social media, I feel like it just made me love you even more because you have this transparency about you that it really resonates with me. I am all about vulnerability and like putting yourself on display. And I love your vision. I love the voice that you give to your characters. And I love the transparency that you put on display. And I have been waiting, like, for real, like maybe 4 or 5 years to say that to you. And so there you have it.
Wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. As a creative, sometimes we get stuck in our boxes of comfort where we don't interact with people because we're just working, 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 working in a dark corner, editing, creating, writing, producing, you know, where you see the comments and people like it, but you're like you don't actually hear it sometimes, and so you just, I don't know, you get weird. Like, do people like this? Am I doing the right thing? So it's always good to hear it, and the fact that it impacts people so much where they can continue the conversation after they watch it. Because there's a lot of shows that you watch and then that's it. You move on about your day. You don't really care to discuss it with anyone. You don't care to share it with anyone or tweet or hashtag anything. So to have created a body of work that is still talked about can help carry conversations is pretty dope. And I know that I get caught up in like, let me just make stuff, let me just make stuff, that I forget to kind of relish in those moments of like, oh my God, I did a good job. So thank you very much.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now that I have like salivated all over you, let's go ahead and get started with the interview because there's so many things that I want to talk to you about. So I always like to first and foremost, I'm always interested in the journey, right? And so I'm always talking about the importance of us as Black women really discussing and sharing our journeys with each other because I think that there's so much inspiration in the journey. And so talk to me and my listeners a little bit more about what your journey has been like as a creative from, like identifying that this is what you want to do. You want to tell these types of stories and like not allowing your voice to be altered by the outside world. What has that process been like for you?
I don't want to put on any airs or front. Like, I had some like rigorous journey and that I had some story on my heart that I had to get off because that's just not true. Um, I really enjoy making myself laugh. And I think 99% of my journey has been how can I make myself laugh? Or like, how can I entertain myself? So everything up to this point has just really, it's just a bonus that other people like it. But for real, it really be for me and the homies. um, so even when I started with the couple, it was the first time that I lived with a man before. Like, we were arguing over like the stupidest stuff. And, he was clean and I'm not. And there was just like so many things. And I would write them down in this little journal, which I actually still have to this very day. And I was like, yo, these are funny. Like these situations in hindsight make me laugh. So I pitched it as a show to my partners at the time. With that guy, I was dating somebody who was also a big inspiration for the show. But I was like looking back at all the dudes that I've dated, and I've noticed that there was two types. There was a sweet broke nigga, and then there was like always a charming dude. And I just found it funny that like every woman dates these dudes, but we've never seen a story through their eyes. So I decided to make one, again, to make myself laugh and to entertain me and my friends. I was really blessed that when I decided that I wanted to move into the entertainment space more aggressively, that I ran into my former partner and kind of coerced him into working with me. And as I grew through like the ranks as PA and errand runner or whatever, we started figuring out like what we were doing. Because at the time we didn't have a network or anything. We were just a bunch of people making content because we thoroughly enjoyed it. And as we began to figure out what that was, we decided, okay, we're a brain trust of creatives. We're doing this. Everybody has a show. Everybody wants to create. Everybody wants to write. And so through that process, I was allowed to start telling these stories on a different landscape. Before it was just in my journal, things were written, but I had never actually put them to paper outside of college because I worked in the corporate sector for so long. So, my first opportunity to create was the opportunity that kind of launched my career. And a lot of people don't have that sort of story. So mine is kind of like an oddball one because I came in through the back door. This wasn't me going through film school and like running into people and making connections and using those connections. It was just me kind of seeing somebody's work, reaching out through email, and then being like, yo, let me convince you why you need me on your team. Then being like, okay, and then us creating a company. So, my story is a little different than most people's.
And that's good though. Like you can never underestimate the power of the hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to hustle that up. One of the things that like whenever I'm interviewing people for my show, one of the things that I find across the board is that no matter how many accomplishments they have, people always tend to talk down their journey, and I'm always like, no, your journey is not any less significant than anybody else's. So what, you came through the back door, girl, you worked for that. You know what I'm saying? You worked for that because you had to make the effort to reach out to somebody. You had to seize the opportunity. You had to create an opportunity where there was none. Because if you didn't have the foresight to reach out to your former business partner and like put in the effort to convince him why he needed you on your team, then none of this shit would have happened. So like your journey is still significant. It doesn't make it any less significant than anybody else. It's not that that's what you were saying, but celebrate that journey because it is a journey, in its own right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I definitely do. Some people are like looking for me for like, tell me what you did so I can do it. And I'd be like,
right.
I guess my only advice would be to be consistent and persistent. Cause I had emailed my former partner like 10 times before he responded. And I just kept hitting him up. And the last time I hit him up, he finally hit me back. So I guess, no matter what your journey is or no matter what opportunity is, aligning with your path, you have to be consistent and persistent because, things are only gonna land so close to you where you got to reach.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, one of the things that I love about your, I guess, I don't know all the lingo, girl, but all of your method of storytelling is how you breathe so much authenticity into your characters. And so I think, did I hear you say you never went to film school or anything? Like, are you self-taught or um, where did the bug, like, how did you even get the bug to create? Where did that even come from for you?
Oh, I've always had the bug. My mom was always pretty creative. My dad is a pretty creative guy, and they just kind of poured into me. So at a young age, I was writing stage plays and creating stories. I played with Barbies for an abnormally long time. Like, I'm not going to say how long I did, but well past the suggested age. But it wasn't just like Barbies. These were like epic adventures. extremely elaborate storylines with like A characters, B characters, C characters, crazy story arcs. I had Barbie set dressings, kind of like you could buy a living room set and bedroom sets. I had living room, bedroom. I had a laundry room set. I had kitchen set. I had Bentleys. I had convertible coupes. I had like a lot going on. Food, the whole nine, and it went to it all kind of merged to create these like really epic stories that were all in my head. You know, there'd be so much going on. And I think that's kind of where it all started. And from there, you know, in school, every time we had a writing project, I would excel. I was in after school writing programs that I didn't even want to be in because I didn't think I wanted to be a writer at first. But as I began to get introduced into more programs geared towards like teaching at risk, quote unquote, youth about these programs, I was like, oh wait, I could be this, I could be a screenwriter. I could, like, you can get paid for this. I don't think I thought of that as a possibility as a kid until high school. Even though I didn't study it in college, I got my Bachelor of Arts in Media Studies, which is, it's not necessarily practice, it's the study of how we use media, what it does for us, how it breaks down communications, how it separates socioeconomic gaps, race. Like it's a liberal arts college, so it wasn't, you know, New York Film School. It wasn't, you know, Chapman. It was, we're gonna give you a video, teach you how to make art, and you're gonna take down the man with your beautiful, strange lesbian pieces of art. You know, it was very, it was very, very Birkenstocks and grass and hacky sack. So when I got out of college and I started working with my former partners, it's really, that was film school for me.
I love your story. Like I love like that journey of how it just kind of like meshed well for you. And so you were saying how you went to a liberal arts college, which I love liberal arts colleges. But you went to a liberal arts college and, you know, there was a lot of emphasis being placed on using your art to really kind of give voice to the voiceless is kind of what I heard you saying, right? And so where or when did you know that the kind of stories that you wanted to tell? Like, was that a process or was that always something like, did your Barbies always have like real life shit happening to them? Or was it like, you know, was it more fairy tale? Like, when did you come to the, I don't know the word I want to use, maybe the realization or like understanding of what types of stories you wanted to tell?
You know, I think every story that I tell is grounded. Like the sci-fi stuff that I write, the action stuff, the anime ideas that I have in my head, you know, they're all like these fantastical beings, but they're still very grounded and like me. So, absolutely everything I have ever touched has had me in it. And I think most artists can say that about their work. Most writers can say that about their work. You know, I'm sure, you know, no matter who you are, whatever you touch has a bit of you in it. And that's just always been my goal, is to like show people who I am through my art. So even if it is sci-fi, even if it is action, even if it is a romantic comedy, I want people to be able to read it, watch it, see it, look at it, and be like, oh, that's a Jeanine Daniels piece. You know what I mean? And I've always been very opinionated. I'm extremely sarcastic. I'm hella witty. I'm very scrappy, and some will call me a ruffian. So all of my work has those elements in it. And I think that's probably the most I can define my work is, you know, it's authentically scrappy.
It is. I think that's the perfect description. Like it's not necessarily like the string of words that I would have put together, but I'm not a writer. So but I think that is a really accurate description of what I know of your work. I'm sure that there's a lot more that you have going on that I'm just not privy to, but I think that like I love that scrappiness about it though, like because I feel like that's what helps me as the viewer to be able to grab on to it and to be able to follow that storyline. Like when you were saying uh sci-fi and anime, and I'm like, yes, please, like do that so I can experience that, because in my mind I'm like imagining what those characters, like I can see Mike and Judah in a freaking sci-fi movie, like I can, and what do those characters look like in that movie? Because I think it's because your work is so grounded, like because your characters really come from this authentic place, and so that's one of the things that I love the most. And I think that's one of the things that ultimately, if I can foreshadow the future a little bit, since we're talking about sci-fi or whatever, if I can foreshadow the future a little bit, like I feel like that's one of the things that you are going to be most known for, is like the authenticity of your characters, because not everybody has that ability. I think it is a gift to be able to write characters that people can connect to, that people can see themselves in, and that people can root for in a way that you would root for, like your homie from elementary school. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that somebody that you feel like you actually have a connection to this person in real life. And that's what your characters do for me. One of the things that I love about, like, so okay, so now this is a little disclaimer that this is going to sound slightly stalkerish, but I'm going to say it anyway because, why not? You know what I'm saying?
Say
But
it.
so
Make me feel
from,
good today.
yes, ma'am. So from meeting you through the Black and Sexy TV and your characters, you put your friends in your work, right? And so from your work, I think I follow like everybody in your friend circle. So I feel like I'm one of the homies on the cool, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like
That's
I'm,
the point though. Like I love TV. It's so funny because a lot of people who like work in entertainment don't actually watch TV. But I do. And I like TV a lot. And the one thing I think, you know, I just think that sometimes because we get opportunities to like make something, like we go an extra mile, which is great. But like, what if we didn't? You know? Like, what if we were just regular ass Black people? Like, if you think about the discrepancy between how many regular ass white people there are on TV versus regular ass Black people, it's insane.
I understand exactly what you're saying. I talk about that all the time. I don't watch a lot of television either. And it's for that well, I don't watch a lot of television because I just don't have damn time. Like I have a million things going on.
Oh,
But
me
I
too, but I'm like, fuck that. TV
right,
time.
like, oh, listen, Hulu changed my whole life. Okay. So Hulu is like I can watch it whenever I want to, and I pay the extra $3 a month so I don't even have to watch the commercials. But I get what you're saying. I think it gets to a point, especially in Black television or just I think Black media in general, like we feel like we have to be like extra everything. And I'm like, I'm not that Black person though. Like I'm not that kind of Black person. Like I'm not the one that feels like, for example, I am very proud of Tyler Perry. He's from New Orleans or whatever. I'm from New Orleans. I'm proud that there's a Black man that's out here that's killing it, that's like making money, that has the freedom to produce or create whatever it is that he want to create. But my grandmother, I don't have a Medea in my family. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother did not own a gun. My grandmother was meek. She was she was a gentle soul. She was, she talked with a high pitched voice. You know what I'm saying? Well, one of my grandmothers. And so I don't connect with Medea. You know what I'm saying? Not every Black person in the world, or specifically in America, has a Medea in their family. And so I'm not entertained by Medea. At first it was funny, but now I'm like, okay, I'm over Medea. You know what I'm saying? Because why it have to be so extra? Like, why can't we just have regular characters? And that's what I love about your characters, is that they are everyday people. And I can see myself in those characters. Like, I think I don't know if she is your best friend. I feel like y'all are best friends, because I feel like I watch y'all enough on Instagram and stuff to feel like y'all are best friends.
Oh,
But Shawana, yes,
yeah, she's my
girl.
best friend.
I freaking love her. So whenever you talk to her again, tell her I said, hey, she might remember me. I mean, wishful thinking or whatever, she might remember me because a couple weeks ago she did an Instagram live. It was like 11 o'clock at night, maybe even, well, my time, Eastern time.
Yeah,
So
she
for
be on that.
y'all, yeah. So for y'all, it wasn't as late, but she was on there and she was like contemplating whether or not she should start a beauty blog. And I was like, please do, please make that happen. But I was commenting I have a blog also called the Black Unicorn Project. And so I was commenting from my blog Instagram page. And I was like, yes, please make that happen. And I was asking her questions about the face wipes, that like the makeup remover wipes that she was using. And she was like, oh yeah, the Black Unicorn Project. Like, she was answering to me. And I was like, oh my God, she saw my comment. Like, I was so excited about the situation. Like, I'm like, for real, like a fan. And so like, but whenever you did Becoming Nia, like with her, she was the main character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I was freaking addicted to that show, because the things that she was experiencing, the things that she was going through, I was like, bitch, this girl is like really in my life right now. Like, this girl is really like I was able to see myself and in her story. But then I was also able to see my flaws in her flaws, like watching her go through certain things, looking at it, I was like, oh my God, like I did that last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you get to see it from a different perspective. And so I really appreciate that about the characters that you generate, because they are, like you say, regular ass people. And for regular ass people like me, I don't need the fantasy, like I just want to be represented. And I
Well, you
love
know what?
that.
You may not need it, but we need all of it.
Yeah.
That's the issue. The issue is we need all of it. We need the over the top. We need the fantasy. We need the drama. We need the crazy, and we need the regular. But I think we get lost in the sauce. I
Yeah.
think sometimes Caucasians aren't sure if they can promote regular Black people, so they don't give us those regular Black shows, because they're like, oh, no one's going to watch it, even though we've proved time and time again that they will,
Yeah.
So I think we need all of it to solidify our space and say, hey, our stories are universal. I think we need everything from Empire to Insecure to Atlanta to The Shy to, like, we need absolutely all of it. The have and the have nots, Queen Sugar. Like, we need every single piece of it to keep going. And we just have to have a balance where there's a little bit of everything that represents us in our true form.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. So I've talked a gazillion times about your support network. And so I want to kind of zone in there for just a few minutes if we can. You have, it seems that you have a really strong support network around you. And so I'm always talking to my listeners and my clients about the importance of finding your people, right? Like, you have to find your people, the people that have your back, the people that are gonna support you, the people that are really just always in your corner and rooting for you. And so, how much of an influence does your core support group play in helping you along your journey, and in terms of manifesting your journey, not just through your characters, but just like real life, like just in life, going through the ups and downs of trying to manifest your vision and things like that. Like, what role does your support network play in helping you get to the place where you're trying to go?
I'll put it to you like this. The movie that I did was the only time. No, the movie and the thing I did for TV One was the only time I've ever paid my friends. That's it.
Yeah.
So all this content, everything that I've done, this is just the homies coming through on the strength, directing, producing, doing music, doing makeup, hair, wardrobe, lighting, holding booms, acting, whatever. That's just the homies coming through. And if it's not a homie, it's somebody who, like, I hit up and was like, yo, I think you'd be dope for this. Will you give me a shot and do this for free? And then being like, yeah, I fuck with you. So, you know, as far as like my immediate support circle, that's how big of an influence they are. Like, they come through no matter what all the time. We clash, we argue, we have problems, we got issues, and then it's squashed, and then we move on, and I'll see you on set tomorrow. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows. And I love that. Like, girl, I'm such a big fan. I really am. So, first of all, like I said, I be stalking your friends or whatever. And I just want to say verbally and out loud, I'm married, but not Judah, girl, what's
Jeremy McBride.
Jeremy McBride, he is a cutie patootie, like for real, for real. I was watching Petty Fitness last night with my best friend, and we were watching it, and I was like, look how cute he is. Like, even when he's like sweating and out of breath and stuff, he's still such a cutie patootie. You know what I'm saying? And the episode when y'all was dancing and stuff, and I was like doing the sexy fitness, I think it's called, the sexy fit. Girl, he was twerking. I said, you better twerk out here for the people. I call him Judah because, he's Judah in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that's not his name, but I always refer to him as Judah because, he's Judah or whatever. So I was like, you better be out here twerking for the people, Judah. I really enjoy him. So, hey, Jeremy or whatever. But anyway, I love your support network. I love the way that they support you. I love that like you can see the connection that you all have. Like, I was even watching I think Richard Wright does your music, right? And you're very, very closely connected to music. Like, all of your work has music like all throughout it. That was one of the things that I love the most about that guy, was the music component of it, because it really facilitated the story, which is, I think, that's just the beauty that is Jeanine Daniels' creative mind. But I was watching the video that y'all did together. What was the name of the song?
Was it Broke Her Down?
Yes, 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 yes. And I just like watching y'all in the video, I was like, like, that's homies for real. Like, you can really see the connection that y'all have with each other. And I think one of the videos that you had on your YouTube page for the plug, it was an old video, girl. I went back and watched everything on your YouTube page, just so you know. In preparation for today, but also just because I needed to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just needed to see what you had put up there. And like, he was talking about, he did a video where you were like sleeping. He's like, she takes over my whole room. And my best friend was like, bitch, you do that to me all the time. I was like, yes, I do. I
Yeah,
take
I used to
over
do
the
that.
whole space. I love it. So, one of the things that we talked about before we really got into actually recording the interview today was your experience with Black and Sexy. And like I said before, I'm not really interested in the details of whatever happened. But during the time that you split from Black and Sexy TV, I was following you and I was already a fan of yours. And so I could tell, or at least it seemed on the outside looking in, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you were affected by that split, because it's obvious that friendship and those types of connections are really important to you. And that the people that you consider friends, or the people that you make connections with, to that level, you take those things seriously, like those things really mean a lot to you. And so from the outside looking in, as a fan of Black and Sexy, but more so a fan of Jeanine Daniels specifically, it was frustrating for me to see you be so affected by that split. And so, what was that experience like for you in terms of, going through that split, and like what business lessons did you learn? Like, how were you able to grow from that experience?
Um, there was a lot of things. The split was the best thing that ever happened to me on like 14,000 different levels. And although I was sad it was over because, I'd invested 8 years into it, it was like getting out of a really bad marriage and being like, damn, I really hope this will work out. We invested so much time. We had kids. Now we got to split up our, you know what I mean? So it was like that kind of sad. But once the dust settled, it was like, whew, all right, what's next? And I think that part was very devastating for me because I didn't have a plan. Like, I never, ever considered that this marriage would end. And although people around me were like, yo, shit's looking dire, you need to prepare, even when it was at its worst, I was still like, no, it'll be fine. We'll fix it. Well, so I didn't have a plan. So when it was over, I was just kind of left twiddling my thumbs, like, so now what do I do? Like, I really genuinely didn't have a plan. I didn't make enough connections. I didn't have this in order. I didn't do that. I didn't meet this person. I didn't have lunch with this agent. Like, I just didn't have it together. And people came at me to have meetings with agencies, and they're like, so, where are your scripts? Where are your treatments? And I was just like, huh? What? Where's, I didn't have shit. Like, I didn't have anything to offer that wasn't connected to that bad marriage.
Right.
And it was a strange place to be like, oh, I have things, but you got to go on this website to watch my work. You know what I mean? It was just very awkward. And, that sucked. And just kind of, you see it all the time on the people's court. Like, paperwork this, paperwork that, get it in writing, and stop being on some homie shit. But I was naive, and, I'm not a victim because I made my decisions. I did what I thought was best for me, even if it wasn't, whatever the case may be. So I'm definitely not a victim. If anything, I'm a victim of like being naive. And that's what I learned. And this was a very expensive lesson and a very tragic lesson. And I think all my friends say that I was supposed to go through this so that when the real shit happens, the big things happen, I already know how to handle it. And I'm just going to go with that theory that crazy, amazing, huge things are in store. And now God can give it to me because I'm like mentally ready to handle it.
I agree. Sometimes things like that have to happen in order for you to realize where your deficits are, like for you to really understand what needs to be done differently moving forward. And so I'm glad that you bounced back from it. And like girl, I was so excited when I saw that they were going to finally release like that finale of that guy. And then I started reading the comments and I was like, no, I was like, don't do this. And so I didn't watch it. But I did contribute and watch the creator's cut, and I was smiling through the entire thing because the level of petty that was involved in putting that together, I was here for it, girl. Let me tell you, I was so here for it because I felt it. Like I said, I mean, I love Black and Sexy at one point in time, and nothing against Black and Sexy whatsoever, but through Black and Sexy, I became a Jeanine Daniels fan. And so when the dust settled, I know I didn't have to pick a side, but I felt like I had to pick a side, and I chose Jeanine Daniels. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Oh,
just
thank you.
yeah, because I was like, like I said, I could tell that you were affected by it. And maybe it's because it's like the therapist in me or the clinician in me, but I could tell that you were emotionally affected. Like I could tell from your tweets and from your post on social media, because you are so transparent, I could tell that you were really trying to work through some things. And so even though we as the fans didn't know what was going on, we knew something was going on. You know what I'm saying? And
I
so
quit in August of 2015, but I was literally just there because of some stuff that, it was one of those, hey, it was a business deal. It was a really crappy business deal while I was there, and I was just fulfilling an obligation. But, I'm an artist, and my work comes from my emotions and how I feel. And because I was in a very crappy place and I wasn't happy, the show had to suffer because I wasn't there.
yeah, and
And
we could tell the difference, like that last season, it felt different. Like it was you,
I
but
wasn't
it
even
wasn't.
writing it. I wasn't writing. I wasn't directing. I was in the streets with my friends. I was letting other people do it to
Mm,
fulfill my obligation, but I wasn't there. That's why I say the show stopped at the movie. That's the last time the show made me happy.
yeah.
It didn't make me happy the third season. I was miserable. I didn't want to shoot it. I didn't want to edit it. I didn't want to be around it. I didn't want to write it. I was just there. And the season finale was hella dark because of it. Like, I killed a character, which there was a lot more to it than just me killing a character, but I didn't finish shooting. Because stuff got so messy with me and them. But like, I knew, like, when the season finale didn't come out, like, I was very happy because I was like, the fans don't deserve this. Like, number one, I didn't finish it. Number two, they don't deserve such dark energy from me. So I think it's best that it didn't come out. So when it came out, I was upset because not only was the third season trash, but now this is how we're going to leave the stamp in people's hearts. Like, to me, whatever beef that they might have with me, whatever beef I might have with them, we've already put the fans through enough. Like, just let it burn, let it die, let it be gone, let it live on. We both knew how dark it was going to get, but, coattail riding as they wanted to do, or desperate, needing the money. I don't know, whatever the case may be, but they went ahead and made that decision. And so, yeah, my heart was broken because I knew, number one, this is not, I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I'm not going to say that I'm not good at what I do. And I'm a phenomenal editor. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just really good at it. I hate editing. It burns me up. It makes me sad. Like, I hate doing it, but I'm really, really fucking good at it. And for this particular show, can nobody edit it like me? So I knew once I decided to put it out, like, it was going to be bad because nobody has that skill that I have. Plus, it's my show. It's my characters. It's my brain. It's my work. My wheels are spinning. It's my music. It's my sensibility. So I was like, whatever's going to happen is going to be bad. And now we all going to look stupid. You know what I mean? Like, the actor's going to look stupid. The director, me going to look stupid. The writer's going to look stupid. Like, y'all going to look stupid for putting it out. Like, to me, that was a bad idea. So yeah, my feelings were dumb hurt. Like, it didn't have to be that way. Like, if y'all needed the money so bad, you should just ask me. Maybe I would have lent you some.
Girl, you better say something, girl. I was like, listen, the level of petty that it took just to think up that event, I was like, yes, I am totally here for this. Like I am completely here for this. I donated, I put a little cash in your little cash app, girl. I was like, I
Thank you
am,
very
yes,
much.
ma'am.
All gonna
I
go
am.
to a very worthy purpose.
Yes, yes, yes. I am totally here for it because, I think I can speak for the majority of your fans, if not all of your fans, when I say that we have been waiting a very long time for you to, snap back to yourself and like work through this emotional thing. And we know that you needed this time to kind of like go through this journey and to find your voice and figure out what that looks like again for you, like outside of that, really bad fucked up ass marriage or whatever. But I for one am very.
Oh, I've been found the voice. I just been in production. Going through that experience, I was like, well, I can't come half-assed. I gotta have, a business license. I gotta have a domain name. I gotta get the YouTube channel together. I gotta get my logos together. I gotta figure out what my release schedule looks like. I've been down this road before for 8 years, so I knew that I couldn't just be like, all right, I'm leaving in October 2015, but 2016, here's a whole new channel. You know what I mean? Like, I know how you have to, I got to write the show. Then I got to produce it. Then I got to get it edited. Then I got to figure out a release schedule. That's going to take 6 months by itself at the very least. You know what I mean? So everything that's happened, like everybody was like, oh, we're waiting for you to come back. I've been back. I just was, had to put shit in order because I didn't want to come at it stupid. And even now I'm not ready, but I couldn't take off more time. Like if it were up to me, I wouldn't have released the plug until next year. You know what I mean? Because then I would feel like my release schedule would have been tighter and things like that. But I also knew that my window of time for, just like relevance was going to close soon if I didn't start dropping shit. So it was kind of like strategic, kind of like, well, I kind of got to kind of hurry it up. So, I just been in the shadows writing, creating. That's why when I dropped the creator's cut, I wanted to show everybody what I've been working on for this past year. Because I'm pretty sure people were like, oh, damn, she just fell off. And she just went, sat on a mountain to go figure her shit out. But it's like, nah, bro, I went to the mountain, but I been came back. I just had some shit to do. So, it's just, so I wanted to kind of have that culmination of, hey, guys, don't trip. We've been working.
Yeah, like the church folks say, everything must be done decent and in order, right? That's yeah, I get that. So why don't you let us know what you do have coming up? We talked about the plug. We said that a million times. Like, what is the plug TV? What you got coming up? What can we look forward to from Jeanine Daniels and 927 Entertainment?
Well, I recently got tapped to direct a podcast, which is set to be released in October. I can't talk about it just yet, but as soon as I'm able, I'm going to hit you with the details, and I'm going to hit everybody with the details. I'm really excited about it. It's the first podcast I've ever directed, so I'm really, really excited about it. I'm also working on a couple other things. I'm doing a bunch of stuff that I can't talk about. So I'll talk about what I can talk about. The Plug TV is basically my answer to where are the regular Black people in digital content or content in period. Like, where are regular Black people at? Here they are. Here they are doing fitness, failing, falling, complaining, cursing, succeeding, failing. Here's a regular ass couple, so with his and hers, I got that going on. With Stella Riches. Stella Riches is basically a hyper real documentary style series about a female rapper who's kind of talentless but has like crazy social media following, has dropped hella mixtapes, but she's broke. And the idea kind of came around from like being around my friends. Like, we're all crazy talented, and we have $0, half of us, and it's just like, why, how can you have all this, how can you have so much success and still be broke? So that's kind of what Stella Riches is about. I'm working on another show called it's tentatively called Regular Court, but we may change the name. But it's just people going to court for regular issues, like really regular ass issues, like, you know, your roommate eating all your ice cream, but it's like Talente ice cream, so it's not cheap. And so you kind of, you know, you want to be read up for that, but she hasn't read up, so you taking her to court. So it's just like, you know, real regular stuff that I think is funny. You know, it's just a bunch of stuff that's coming out that I'm really excited about, that we've all been working on for a long time. Hella music that we're working on. But I think I'm really excited about His and Hers because my mother and I created it together. So I think that's one of my favorites right now.
I
Just
love
because.
your mom. She is so cute. Like, really.
Ain't she the best?
She is. She made y'all lemonade and stuff. I was like, yes, mama, you
Because she's
better.
super petty.
She, she is.
She's super petty.
She is. I love her, and I love how she supports you, you know, like through everything. Like she has your back. And I know everybody feel like their mama is the best or whatever, but I really do love the connection that y'all have with each other. And so I'm excited, girl. I'm excited about everything that you're talking about. I'm sure my listeners are gonna hear more about it because as you start releasing stuff, girl, I'm gonna be talking about it. I promise. Like I said, they have heard your name before come out of my mouth. I have talked about you before here on my show. So this will not be the last time that they hear about you and about everything that you have going on. Go ahead and just give them some information on how they can follow you, keep up with what you have going on, reach out to you if they're trying to reach out to you, donate to the cause if they're trying to donate to the cause. Let the people know how they can get you.
For sure. Well, I am on every social media platform, the same thing, from Tumblr to Twitter to Facebook to Instagram. It's Miss Antineen, MSAUNTIENEEN. That's on everything. Even my email. People want to email me and see what's good. MissAuntineen@gmail. I figured the best way for people to reach me was for me to stay consistent. Remember we talked about that consistency. So I hate people have like 13 different names across their social media, and it's just like it's too much.
It
So,
is. It is.
And you can find the plug on YouTube. However, I've heard that it is not the easiest to find, and YouTube will not make it easy for me until I get a certain amount of subscribers. So you can find it on YouTube at the Plug TV, but low key, the easiest way to find it is to just go on my Instagram or Twitter, and either you can go to Miss Antineen or you can go to the Plug, because it's really easy to find on Instagram and Twitter. The Plug TV. It's the_plug_TV. Across those social media platforms. And you can just click on the link in the bio. It'll take you straight there with no problems. Or you could search for it on YouTube and, you know, get frustrated and decide not to follow. That's what a lot of people do. So I just got to tell people like how easy it is on Instagram and Twitter.
And if anybody wants to donate, are you all still accepting donations?
Yes, we are still accepting donations for the Creators Cut. So you just gotta send us a DM or an email, and we got you. And I also have a Patreon. You know, I didn't want to do a Patreon in the beginning because of my ego, you know, pride. I'm an Aries. One of my managers was like, Jeanine, you gonna crash and burn if you don't get some money and hire somebody to help you with all this shit. And I was like, I can do it. I did this for 10 years. You know, I went off because I think that I could do everything, right? Like every freaking artist.
Right.
I do it by my damn self. But you know, you can't do nothing by yourself. And that's what creatives gotta get in their brain. Like, can't nobody do this by themselves. Like, that's so stupid. And I can't believe I've had that mentality for so long. That's why I have gray hair now.
Girl, I have a gray hair in my eyebrows. I was looking the
That's so
other day.
pretty.
Girl, please. I was looking in the mirror the other day and I was like, it looks like I have a bald spot in my eyebrows. And so when I looked up close in the window, I was like, oh my God, it's a gray hair. One gray hair in my eyebrows because I'm trying to do everything my damn self. So I definitely understand exactly where you're coming from. Y'all make sure that you follow the Plug TV, follow Miss Auntie Neen everywhere. Check out Petty Fitness so you can see, see girl Jeremy with his cute self. You know what I'm saying? And because he's adorable, he's like a teddy bear. He really is. Like he's a cutie patootie. I love him. And
He's
I
one of
when
the greatest men I've ever met in my entire life.
I can tell, and you can tell that like he really is like the homie for real because he supports you across everything. And listen, I've never been to LA before, but when I come out there, I already put on my list of shit to do that I need to go and get some of that chicken. Like I'm not
Oh, you
playing,
gotta go get that action. If you
girl.
don't get that action, you're doing a disservice to yourself, and
Like
that's your.
he looked like he made good chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like he know
He's
like
never made anything that wasn't delicious. That I can tell you from personal experience. The man is blessed in multiple areas.
Yes, yes. So y'all make sure y'all check them out. I'm gonna be following everything that the plug has going on, everything that you have going on. I'm so excited for you. I'm excited, girl. I'm excited for your fans. I'm excited for us because the time is very like quickly approaching that we'll get to have an opportunity to consume your just your brain beauty really soon. And I'm really grateful to have had an opportunity to talk to you today and just to let you know how, freaking awesome and amazing I think you are. This has been a long time coming. Like I've had this conversation with you in my head several times. And so to be able to have this conversation with you in real life is definitely a moment for me. And so thank you for allowing me to have that moment. And thank you so much for being on the show today and for sharing everything that you shared and just for being so open and transparent because we really, really believe in that here. And like I've said a million times just today, that is one of the things that I love the most about you is that openness and that transparency that you have. And if there's anything that I can do, to help you along your journey, I don't have a whole lot of pull or nothing like that. But even if it's just, a listening ear or whatever it might be, I don't know. Just let me know. I am more than willing to help out in any way that I can.
Heck yeah, thank you.
You're very
And
welcome.
I'm gonna leave with a word of advice for
Mhm.
everybody out there. Protect yourself and protect your tribe. Those are the two things that should be most important to you. If you cannot protect yourself, you cannot protect anybody else. So protect your heart, your energy, your emotions, your mental stability, and your finances and your business, and then take care of everybody else around you.
Now that's a word. That is a word. Thank you so much, Jeanine.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That interview really was a full circle moment for me in a lot of ways. As y'all know by now, I'm a huge fan of Jeanine. And if you check out some of her stuff, I'm more than confident that you will be too. That guy starred Will Catlett, who plays Yasir on Love Is on OWN. And so I was introduced to Will Catlett through that guy, and I've been a fan of his ever since then. Janine has a great eye for talent, like she really does. And she has an amazing and warm spirit, which is obvious because, like, her people really ride for her and they come through for her in a heartbeat. So, y'all make sure that you follow her on your social medias, subscribe to the Plug TV on YouTube, support this Black woman, y'all. Donate to her and help her get her situation together. This is a Black woman who is using her gifts to push the culture and the community forward. We need to support something like that. Thanks again to Jeanine Daniels for agreeing to talk with me. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about our conversation. Make sure you tag me, make sure you tag Jeanine in all of your posts so we can, add to the conversation. Okay? All right. Coming up next is High Five. Taraji P. Henson has been everywhere lately, announcing the launch of her brand new 501c3, which is focused on mental health in the Black community. The Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, which she named after her father, is dedicated to erasing the stigmas associated with mental health treatment in the Black community. And let me tell you, boo, I am all the way here for it. Taraji has been really opening up about her own mental health needs and about the struggles that she had trying to find a Black therapist for her son after his father was murdered in 2003. I am so proud of Taraji for really using her platform to shine a light on mental and emotional wellness in our community. I'm really excited about the overall direction, to be honest, of where our cultural perspective around these issues is taking. We're seeing more and more Black celebrities come out about their own issues and struggles with things like depression and anxiety and suicidality and, like everything in between. And so you also see like shows like mine, Unicorns Talk podcast. We see Therapy for Black Girls, The Read, The Friend Zone. All of these types of shows are becoming more and more popular because I believe that as a whole, Black people are ready to get on the other side of this. And we're really starting to realize that in order to do that, we need to allow ourselves to heal some things, right? And so I'm really like deeply committed to helping as many people as I can in this lifetime. And hopefully, I want to leave behind a legacy that allows me to continue to impact lives even after I'm gone. So high five to Taraji P. Henson and the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation for really doing your part to help heal our community and actually using your blessing to be a blessing for others. She is establishing a legacy for herself and her family that is going to have a positive impact on our community, and I commend her for that. I wish that more celebrities would do things like this, but I'm happy, definitely happy to see that number is steadily increasing anyway. So high five to Taraji. I love you, girl. My goal is to get her on my show one of these days. We're gonna see, you know what I'm saying, as I grow in things, we're gonna see what happens with that. But I love Taraji P. Henson. She's a beautiful spirit, and I would love to uh work with her in some capacity in the future. So we're gonna put that out there into the universe or whatever. You dig? All right. There's no reality check today. I did watch Insecure, but I'm not quite ready to share thoughts on it just yet. So there's no reality check for today. I do want to give a shout out to all of my friends and family and everybody in my support network. Being home this week or for the last week or so, has really been very therapeutic for me in a lot of ways. It's nice just to be able to reconnect with people. It's different, like talking on the phone with people and stuff, and then to actually be there with them and to like feel their energy face to face, like in person and things like that. And so I have an amazing support network around me, and I'm always grateful whenever I get a chance to spend time with them. So shout out to all of my friends and family and my support network. I'm sorry if I didn't get to see you this time. I am so sorry. But I'm definitely gonna try to come back real soon. I love y'all or whatever. And so yeah, thank you for always being there for me and things like that. Okay. All right. In terms of announcements, y'all know that I am partnered with Talkspace online therapy platform, but I've also partnered with BetterHelp online therapy platform as well. And so I'm doing this online therapy thing. And let me tell y'all, I really enjoy online therapy. We talked about mental health with Taraji and her foundation and things like that, and how we can really get the word out. And so one of the things that I am, like really, really advocating for right now is online therapy, especially in communities of color. As a provider, I can tell you firsthand that the experience is a real therapeutic experience. I'm not just saying that because I want to be your counselor or whatever, because I want to be, I want to help y'all one on one and things like that, which I do, but that's not the only reason why I'm saying it. The clients that I'm working with, I literally have clients all over the world right now. Like all over the world. I have clients, and that's awesome and amazing. But then also in the state of Louisiana, I have clients all around the state of Louisiana. And so I'm excited about that as well because these people now have access to counselors and providers that they would not normally have access to. Now, y'all already know I am damn good at what I do. I've never been shy about that fact. I am a great counselor. I am a great coach. But there are a lot of great coaches and counselors out there that you just don't know of because they're not in your immediate location or your immediate area, right? And so what happens a lot of times is that people of color, specifically Black people, we end up having to settle for a counselor if we decide or make the decision that we need to reach out for help. We end up having to settle because we can't find somebody that really gets us or really understands us. And that's doing us more harm than good. In order for your therapeutic experience to be a successful one, you have to be able to connect to your therapist. And so online therapy really gives you an opportunity to do that because it opens up the pool from which you have to choose. You see what I'm saying? And so I highly recommend online therapy to anybody, but specifically to people of color and specifically, especially specifically to the Black community because you can go in there and you can select the exact type of counselor that you want to work with. And, it allows you to be able to do it on your own time, at your own, at your own leisure. As a therapist, I love it because it allows me to really slow down and think about what I'm saying to my clients. And that way, you're always getting the best parts of me. You get what I'm saying? And I love that it gives me flexibility. And so I am a very high or staunch proponent of online therapy. I am a partner or a provider, rather, with both Talkspace and BetterHelp online therapy. And so, holla at your girl if you're interested in working with me, and you're interested in maybe giving this online therapy thing a try. Holla at your girl. You can ask for me by name, and they will get you to me. All right. All right. Make sure you get your tickets to see Unicorns Talk podcast live at a Pod Connection ATL on Saturday, October 6th. Tickets are $25, but you can use my special code Unicorns Talk for $5 off. Head on over to a Pod Connection ATL splash.that.com. Register for the meet and greet on Friday when you purchase your ticket, and I can't wait to see y'all. It's going down. For real, for real. Make sure you also register for my free Empower Your Vision Masterclass. You can head over to the website and get more information about that. And of course, join my free Facebook group, Trust Village, a safe space for healing and manifestation. I created Trust Village specifically for Black women. And so, y'all come on out and do some soul searching, get the help that you need. There's no reason now. With such access to the services and the information that we need to actually move our lives forward, there's no reason for anybody to not come on and get this information. You dig? Make sure you follow me on all social medias. You can follow the podcast, Unicorns Talk Podcast, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Unicorns Talk Pod. And you can follow or check me out on the web at latricesampsonrichards.com/Unicorns Talk Pod. Listen on the web or everywhere that the show is available. You can follow me directly at Latrice Sampson Richards on Twitter at LSamRichards, and make that happen. And finally, I am doing a webinar this Friday. You can register. The link is in the show notes, and you can register for the webinar. It will be free to attend the live recording of the webinar. And the topic is going to be this Friday, rather, at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It is not going to be on Facebook, so you have to register in order to attend live. And even if you think that you won't be able to make it, still register because you'll get a special offer to purchase the replay at a discounted rate. So make sure you do that, okay? The topic is, or the title of the webinar is Preparing for Your Pivot. And we're talking about 5 things you need to know about starting over. I'm really excited about this webinar. It's going to be jam packed with actionable steps that you can take in order to prepare yourself for your starting over journey, your change journey. And so we need all the help that we can get. And I try to make the information as palatable as I can. And my goal, like I've said over and over and over, is to make sure that when you leave me, you can actually use the information that I'm giving you. So I ain't just up here talking. I'm not just talking like when I do my show, when I do my live streams, and when I do these webinars. So make sure you come with your pen and your paper, ready to take some notes, because you are learning the actual steps that you need to move your life forward. Do that for yourself. All I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Do that for yourself. That's the least you could do. All right? That's all I got for y'all today. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And until next time, be well. Bye, y'all.